Hey guys, this is Tom Box. Welcome to MST.TV, and after today's ruling quiz, you will never lose to the three biggest illegal match deals of the format. We're talking turn skips, illegal boards, and even false information. Now, majority of the time, this stuff happens by accident, and when it does, neither player knew until after the fact. And that's like the worst feeling when it comes to playing in major events. So today we're going to be playing a simple game of where's the illegal play that dirties your record from an XO to an X1D. The D stands for dirty because you got done in dirty. Now before we begin this test, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, hit subscribe, and ding that notification bell so you guys will always stay on top of the game. And let's begin. Question number 1. This is related to Borrelend Dragon. I've seen a lot of people get screwed over by this card because of an illegal play. This illegal play is actually really whack, and hopefully you guys can catch it. But here's the scenario, alright guys? So player 1 decides to take 3 monsters, a triple burst, 2 other dragon monsters, whatever it may be, and they summon out a Borrelend Dragon. Player 2 asks, hey, what does this card do? And so he answers, well, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect, cannot be targeted, it can attack all monsters you control once each, and essentially it's like a Chi, so it can negate a monster on the field by targeting it, but the catch is that I have to also revive a rocket monster, and you cannot respond to my activation. It is a Borrel monster after all, a Borrelink monster. So, okay, player 2 then decides to, okay, well, I'm going to attempt to activate Imperm, target Borrelend. Player 1 says, hey, you can't target my monster. I said you can't target the card. It says right here, neither player can target this card. So what was the illegal play that just occurred here? You have 10 seconds this time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. And if you guys said that isn't the proper card text of Borrelend Dragon, you are correct. We're going to answer this in complete depth, including how to beat the Borrelend Dragon itself. To solve this question, all we got to do is read this card. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Neither player can target this card with monster effects. And this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. That's correct. And has a quick effect. You can target an effect monster on the field and one rocket monster in your graveyard. Negate the effects of the monster on the field. And if you do special summon that monster from the graveyard, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. You can only use this effect of Borrelend Dragon once per turn. And that's the issue with letting your opponent read cards for you, because if they read it, sometimes they read a redacted version, sometimes they abbreviate, cut corners, and they might miss some of the more key elements. And let's just face the facts here, no one's going to tell you and emphasize on the weakness of their own monster. It's just not how it works. They're there to beat you. You got to figure it out yourself, and it's not their job to kind of serve it to you on a silver platter. Let's put it that way. But I am here to serve it to you guys on a silver platter. So let's talk about how to beat this card as a little bit of an added bonus. Borrelend Dragon, we're going to end it itself. So number 1, you have to know how to take advantage of priority when you have it, especially against this card. I'm going to assume you guys know what priority is, and if you guys think priority doesn't exist or you don't know what it is, then you should check out that video. I'll probably leave a link in the description about what is priority, because it is still part of the game. It's just what determines who can activate a card and when they can activate it. So who can have priority to play their card versus their opponent playing their card. That's what it really is. Number 2, every single deck has options to beat this deck. And I'm going to start with Floowandereeze. Floowandereeze with the Unexplored Winds continuous spell card. If you have Draco back with the Adventure Engine, you can just bounce it off. If you have Imperm, you can negate it and then clear it. It's very important, especially when you have an open field and nothing on the field. You can just activate it. Now you don't have to deal with a Borrelend negating your card. So it's really that easy. And that's the thing. A lot of people say, oh, but I can't target it. But you can. It's not a monster effect. And then you have a Forbidden Droplet. You have a Dark Ruler No More. Those are pretty awesome cards to kind of handle this particular scenario, especially when you don't provide them with the opportunity to respond in case you do have a monster on the field. Then you have Super Poly and Fallen of Albaz. You can set a Fallen of Albaz and then just send it away and summon Alba Lunatus, and there you go. Free board clear. Cyber Dragons. Usually Borrelend Dragon isn't in the back row. It's usually in the extra monster. You can just clear it off for free. And even for Sword Soul, you have Chen Ying. When you have Chen Ying, though, you got to be careful, because likely Chen Ying is going to get negated. If Chen Ying gets negated, it's all for nothing. So you're going to have to bait the negate and then summon out a Chen Ying, banish a card, and clear it off the field. And perhaps you're going to be bigger than this card, and you're going to be reducing its attack quite a bit. So that's why you've got quite a bit of advantage when it comes to beating Borrelend Dragon. And that's everyone's potential optional way of clearing off this big boss monster. Don't be intimidated by it. Spells and traps are your best friend. Number 2, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity, a very devastating level 12 monster. This often occurs with Punkthyrian players. Now, I know players love to turn skip if they have it, and when they have it, they have it, but what sickens me is when they don't have it and pretend that they have it. That's the worst case scenario. They just say you can't activate cards and you move on. Here's gonna be the scenario. Player 1 sets up their board with a Halki Fibrax, a Plague Spreader Zombie, and a Chaos Ruler, and passes turn with all the intention to go into Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. Player 2, draw phase, nothing. Standby phase, no response, and main phase. As player 2 has priority, he normal summons out the Sangan, and in response to the normal summon of Sangan, since the normal summon does not start a chain, player 1 decides to activate their Halki Fibrax as Chainlink 1 and summons out a Formula Synchron. He activates the effect of Formula Synchron to draw. However, player 2 chains and activates a Ghost Mourner to the Formula Synchron. And however, on top of that, the Formula Synchron gets activated once more to perform a Synchro Summon using the monsters already held here. So, Chainlink 3 resolves Formula Synchron is going to take the Plague Spreader and the Formula and the Chaos Ruler and synchro into Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. The Ghost Mourner fails to negate the missing Formula Synchron, and the Formula Synchron draws, or at least Formula Synchron effect draws. However, now player 1 decides to go Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity and activates its effect. And he's going to go activate the effect when this card is Synchro Summon, yada yada yada. For the rest of the turn, your opponent cannot activate cards, and also cards under your opponent control cannot activate their effects. So, because of this, player 2 decides to set 1 and pass turn. Now explain to me what went wrong in this scenario. What was the illegal play that occurred? You guys have 10 seconds. 10. Well, actually, I think it's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If your answer was Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity couldn't have activated, then you're correct. Pat yourself on the back, hit that thumbs up button while you still can, because it has a when you can type trigger effect. And since Chainlink 3 is when it was summoned, the when trigger completely misses the timing. This is the whole old school missing the timing scenario. And if someone says that, oh, you're locked under, that is not how it works. Not with this card. This card's inherent weakness is that it uses an old when you can, so it can miss timing. And I think it's actually done on purpose as well. Missing the timing of this card is really crucial. You have to commit to Chainlink 1. In other words, because he chose to draw a card with the Formula Synchron, that's kind of what really done in this effect, because so now that when your opponent chains to do something about your King Calamity, you can't really just chain to summon it out, because if you chain to summon out, you get a 4K beat stick, and that's really all you're getting, and you don't get the complete stun out effect when it comes to the better part of this, which skips the opponent's entire turn when they can't play cards. So if you get an opponent playing this card and you can just bait your opponent's Hulk into like Formula Synchron, and then you can somehow force that Formula Synchron to chain on top of its own effect to draw, then you're in a good spot, because this card will not be able to activate, and a judge can easily side with you, because this is more or less common knowledge. Before we continue, make sure you guys check out MST.merch.com to pick up some beautiful white sleeves, some awesome MST.TV merch, such as the foil sleeves, over sleeves, our mats, box dividers. Sort your collection. All the fantastic stuff can be found at MSTmerch.com. Check it out. It would really help me out, support the channel, and make your collection a lot neater. Number 3. Therian King Regulus versus Unions. Now, I didn't think that I would actually be making this particular ruling, but here we are. There's been at least 3 people that have made this mistake, and it relates to ABC Brave Therian. As strong as it is, it's not exactly invincible. There are certain points where I wish I could fix up myself, but here is the scenario. The Union Driver has been opened in hand but tossed into the graveyard via the Fateful Adventure. To max out on the effects of the Union Driver, Therian King Regulus has been activated, targeting the Union Driver, equipping it onto it, as well as special summoning itself. So summon itself, equip the Union Driver. Then player 1 proceeds to activate Union Driver, banishes it, and equips it with a B, and then proceeds to summon the B back onto the field. Can you guys tell me what was wrong with that statement? What was the illegal play there? You guys have 10 seconds. This is the short form because ultimately this can lead to a full board being built, and that's no good because something illegal happened, and this leads to some pretty nasty boards that really shouldn't exist. And I think time is up. And the illegal play here is the Union Driver can technically activate its effect, but it just can't really activate its effect and equip a B onto Therian King Regulus. Union Driver states that while this card is equipped to a monster, banish this equip card, equip 1 level 4 or lower appropriate Union monster from your deck to the monster this card was equipped to. The appropriate Union monster implies the target of the monster that was in the deck. The Union monster in the deck, in this case, it was B Buster Drake. Target 1 light machine monster you control. Equip this card to that target. Well, that would be the appropriate monster. However, that's not the case when it comes to Therian King Regulus. That's an Earth machine, not a light one. So B Buster Drake, A Assault Core, C Crush Wyvern, none of these can equip ABC pieces through the effect of Union Hanger, through the effect of, I guess, Driver, Unauthorized Reactivation, through B Buster Drake, A Assault Core, or C Crush Wyvern's natural effect to equip. None of that can happen. The only reason why B Buster Drake could be equipped onto, say, a Therian King Regulus, it's because it's using Therian King Regulus' own effect to equip the machine. Therefore, it can completely ignore the fact that it's not an appropriate Union monster effect, because this is not equipping via a Union monster effect. That's equipping via Regulus' effect. The other way you can do it is probably through like a Union Carrier, because Union Carrier, you can equip an attribute or a type. So whatever, it's done through some other monster's effect. That works for that. But in this particular case, since we're using unauthorized reactivation or using Union Driver, that is basically not allowed. This is like really important to know, because I know some people that in an alternative scenario, what they go for is that they summon out the Regulus and then they use unauthorized reactivation. And then they go into like B, are they going to C, are they going to like Union Driver to go into B? Like all of this, it's not good. It's illegal, and like those ABCs should not be appearing on the board, but it happens from time to time. I'm sharing this because I've heard this at least 3 times now, and I think it's more rampant than it is. When someone brings it up, if it's 3 times out of like 10 people, then you just multiply the numbers, and across the nation, there's probably someone else doing it out there, and this is here to stop it. I don't want you guys to lose that. If they're going to beat you with ABC, they're going to beat you the correct way with ABC. That's it for this video. How did you guys do on this quiz? Did you guys get 3 out of 3? Did you guys miss 1 or 2 of them? Did this stuff happen to you guys in the past, and now you're going to fix it, correct it so it doesn't happen to you, especially in the nearest, I don't know what's the biggest event, I guess the championship level events, anything like that? Let me know down in the comment section just in case, and if there's any other weird scenarios that are occurring to you, let me know. Maybe I'll answer it, or maybe the crowd will answer it for me. Hopefully they answer it correctly. If not, I'll definitely step in. Well, yeah, I'm bringing back live duels. I'm working on a new live duel layout. Everything's going to be upgraded to maximum production value. You'll see it very soon. That's all I got for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up button. If you guys learned a thing or two, hit subscribe and ding that notification bell. It really helps out the channel, and hopefully we'll hit the 100K mark sometime this year. That's the goal. That's the dream, and it will really mean the world to me. And that's it for this one. Check out MSTmerch.com, and I'll see you guys in the next one.